not yet enough. So we really need online, as well as the state actors as well as non-state actors, organizations, private sectors, NGOs, academics, individuals, community, and us all here. I think we all here have a potential to contribute further. Not only the one who is already in the farming area. Yeah, so maybe if you can help me with like muting your speaker first, later you will have time to share with each other as well, so that we can have this biar saya nggak bingung ya. So yeah, so we really need individuals' action, and especially in the form of yeah, maybe if Mbak Rifa or the other can help with trying to muting the people that are talking right now, yes, that'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you. So yeah, and then we're very happy to have Coaching Indonesia and Climate Coaching Alliance with us here to share a few things about what they're doing, especially for climate reality, which is perhaps want to be more involved in that, and then also what's the potential here to increase climate actions. Is there anything that we can do together, some collaboration, maybe including more climate topics related in the coaching in Indonesia or also somewhere else, because Bu Amanda has just shared me some areas of coaching in Indonesia, and I haven't not yet seen climate there. So maybe after this we can have that so that people can be more involved in that, because you have a lot of network, great network as well. And then also for Climate Coaching Alliance, which was established around over the last year, I guess, 11 professionals bodies for coaching, mentoring, and supervision signed a global statement, with commitments to work together to play their part in addressing the climate emergency. So I think this is a way forward to be seen from the coach. Perhaps if you haven't really involved in climate, maybe the climate reality people can also share a few stuff, and then the vice versa, we are the climate campaigners or climate actors here can also learn a lot about, how to be a better coach, for example. So, and I also would love to learn that as well. So our goal for today is to first share participants' knowledge about the climate crisis, its solutions, and what actions can we do as an organization or individual. I think that's the most important, so we can have some curhat time. What's in English, curhat, yeah? And then second, providing participants with information on coaching practice and how it can address climate crisis. The third one, I think we need to pool our resources together on climate coaching practices, trying to encourage more people to be a better, more effective climate coach, because we do need that, so that we can ask more people to be on board on this mission. And then also building a network of individuals within climate, environment, and coaching communities who are committed to take real actions for humanity. So I hope that kind of clear our mind, so that for the next 1.5 hours, we can be present here, and then really focusing our attention on, the event here. But I guess, I have to invite the expert to do the presenting. Is that what it's called? That's my understanding right now, but maybe after this I will have better understanding. I would like to invite Ibu Josie McLean, PhD. She is now based in Adelaide, so it's in the evening, I think after dinner for her. She is the systemic change specialist, international speaker, author, facilitator, and coach, and specific expertise in organizational sustainability and complexity. So Ibu Josie from Climate Coaching Alliance, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Leah. So presencing is what we're going to be involved in. And you're probably familiar with mindfulness practices where we try to become present in the present moment. And a presencing exercise is just that. It helps us become present in the present moment. So this is a tradition, a ritual within the Climate Coaching Alliance, and I'd like to share it with you now. This is just one exercise. It's not the only way to do it. But I'd like you all just to accept the invitation, perhaps, to sit comfortably in your chair for a moment and perhaps get your feet flat on the ground or the floor. And the invitation is to close your eyes if you're willing to do that, or just soften your gaze. And to notice your breathing. And to notice the connection between the bottom of your feet, the soles of your feet, and the floor or the earth. Feel that connection. And perhaps as you're sitting there feeling that connection, you can start to feel a little tingle in your feet, where the pressure of your feet is on the floor or the ground. And I'd like to invite you to imagine roots, if you like, growing from the base of your spine all the way down your legs, through the soles of your feet and down into the earth, way, way down into Mother Earth. Feeling the strength of the support that we have when we connect to Earth. And just for a moment, enjoy the support, the strength, and the comfort that that connection, that deep connection to Earth can offer us. And just breathe in and out for a few breaths. Notice the energy flowing. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and return to the room here, present and ready to connect with each other. Thank you, Leah.
Thank you very much, Bu. I'm suddenly immediately calmer now. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is very therapeutic, very relaxing now. I think I feel the connection. I guess I hope everyone, Ibu Bapak Ibu also like that. Yeah. So hopefully we can enjoy all this session and then have meaningful use out of that. So thank you very much, Ibu Josie. And then next, we are going to invite Bapak Al, ya. Bapak Al Falak Arsendatama. He is the executive coach and ICF Master Certified Coach and CEO of Coaching Indonesia. So Bapak Al will share a few things about climate coaching Indonesia and how we can move forward going into climate coaching. Bapak Al Falak, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Lia. And also thank you for Josie who facilitated the connection with us. And this is actually part of our ritual as well as a coach to really make ourselves grounded and centered so that we can offer the invitation also to our clients. And I love doing this every morning to feel the sunlight and feel the earth behind us and beneath us so that we are ready for making the day. And in the next 15 minutes, I'll be sharing with you guys around coaching and how it grows in Indonesia. And we can discuss how the connection of coaching and climate change and how these two can go hand in hand to increase awareness on people, to start planting the seed of connection between human and the nature that seems to have lost over the last decade or over the centuries because of the modernization, industrialization, and globalization. And how coaching can take a part on this journey of coming back to our nature as a human, as part of the inhabitant of the earth. And I've prepared a quick presentation for 15 minutes, and please feel free to submit or post any questions in a chat box in Zoom so that we can have a very nice interaction. And please welcome as well for people to make a challenge or raise hands or anything that may enrich our interaction this afternoon. If you see behind my screen, coaching and its practice in Indonesia. 12 years ago, when my wife took me to Arisan Keluarga with our relatives, 12 years ago, back in 2008, someone asked me, "What do you do?" And I answered simply and confidently, I said, "I'm a coach." And then he frowned his eyes, and is that like a soccer coach? You train kids how to play soccer? And I understand in that moment, coaching wasn't very known. And then I simply continue on with some quick explanation. Coaching helps people achieve their goal. That was 12 years ago. And right now, 2021, everyone wants to be a coach. And we keep receiving requests from corporations, private sectors, and also public sectors, government institutions, and individuals at large. They want to learn how to become a coach. And a number of them sit in coaching certification that we conduct. And a number of them, they simply sit in a couple of day workshop. The trend is really exciting that everyone wants to be a coach. And I have children, twins, and every time before the pandemic, we took them to a gym for kid gym to train the flexibility and the strength. And the trainer, we noticed they changed the title from trainer to coach. So everyone wants to be coach right now. And this is something exciting and also challenging. We want to make sure that coaching really plays the important role, and we know what coaching is. So what does coaching mean to us? A lot of perception about coaching and lots of confusion as well about coaching. What is the difference between coaching and mentoring, coaching and counseling, and a number of definition arises. Yeah, and from our research, we found a number of definitions, and they are right in their own way, but may not be complete. Coaching means guiding people how to do the right thing. Not guiding people to do the things right, not guiding people to do the right thing, but guiding people to do the things right. Meaning, it can be customized, it can be personalized according to their awareness and their goal. Some definitions also say that coaching is about developing people to achieve their goals. Coaching is not about problems. Someone sign up for a coaching because they have something to achieve. Much like in sport, an athlete or a club, they contract a coach because they have target to achieve. It's not because of the problem or issue, but because there is something in the future to achieve. Coaching is about unlocking a person's potential to maximize their own performance, because we believe there is something inside us that wants to grow, wants to achieve, wants to create, and how can we unlock that potential? All these definitions, correct in their own way, but the most complete definition that we subscribe is from the ICF. Coaching is about partnering with individuals in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. If you read on the definition, it may be simple, it may be also a little bit abstract, But when we go deeper into the definition, we found something philosophical. We found something that is deep-rooted in our well-being, in our soul. Partnership. It means connection. How can we connect with another human being as it is, as they are, without assumption, without judgment, without trying to push our own agenda, and let go of our title. Atasan, bawahan, senior, junior, manager, and subordinate, they come into a coaching session as a partner, not as a transactional relationship, but as a partner to achieve a common goal. And how the environment is being set up so that the client becomes thought-provocative and creative in thinking process. And our responsibility as a coach is how to establish such an environment so people can think through themselves. So this is more challenging than advising or teaching or telling. Coaching is about inspiring people from their own awareness so that they can maximize their personal and professional potential. In Indonesia, coaching has arrived since maybe 2005, and then it shaped up very quickly after the ICF chapter was established back in 2011. At the time, myself and a handful of people, we predict that coaching would become something that connects us all together in many professions: consultants, psychologists, counselors, and therapists. And then we decided to form a formal chapter, an ICF chapter, in 2011. It was only 25 people signed up as the minimum requirement. Right now, the chapter has been growing, and 100 or even 150 members always consistently continuing the journey to share best practices and exchange ideas and also researches. And we are quite happy. Coaching has been growing so much in Indonesia and moving into the right direction. What I mean by the right direction is coaching is not like 15 years ago in Indonesia that was associated with telling and teaching. Right now, coaching has its place to make people become partner. Atasan dan bawahan, parent and children, they become partner to really look at the future, not fixing something in the past, but achieving something better. And honestly, I'm curious how climate coaching can evoke awareness from people so that they become aware of their connection. See, this is something that we can talk about later on. Coming back to coaching in Indonesia, there are three major areas of coaching that we research, and also as a practitioner, we continually demonstrate how coaching can elevate these three major areas. First, absolutely in the corporate world. Managers, leaders, they learn how to do coaching so that they can improve their engagement and also their performance. We in Coaching Indonesia are hired by them as an external coach to accelerate the process. The second area is business. Business development, small to medium enterprises, startup companies, they hire coaches in addition to mentors. So they can maximize what they know as a knowledge, as a skill, and customize it according to their own needs. Business coaching in Indonesia is also growing with the focus on small to medium enterprises development from the government. And what makes us happy is life coaching, because this is about us. This is about how we relate in our family, how we maintain our well-being. Life coaching is also very sexy because we talk about parenting, wellness coaching, career coaching, self-growth coaching, relationship coaching, and grievance coaching. Grievance coaching is about how to recover from loss of your loved one. This is the major areas of coaching in Indonesia, and the trend will continue on to grow, especially with the digital technology and artificial intelligence, which I will touch upon later on in this presentation. What is interesting is also the increase of awareness from people about coaching and transformation. Because coaching is not simply telling or advising. Coaching is about raising the awareness. And this means making a change in yourself, which also transforming your mindset, transforming your perception about the reality. And this is what makes us excited to bring coaching even into a bigger place in the society, in the community. And people then realize coaching is not simply coaching, quote unquote. Coaching is an interaction, an intersection between multidisciplinary fields, including leadership, communication, psychology, cognitive thinking, emotional intelligence, and human transformation. And we conduct researches, we conduct measurement on how people change in their awareness and perception about themselves, about the people around them, and about what they do at work, and which I will present later. Our couple of researches from corporation and also from public domain. So coaching now becomes the intersection of many disciplinary fields, and this is realized by people from corporation, from business, and also from figures in public, that coaching is not simply telling or advising or teaching how to do the right thing. Coaching is more into human, more into the heart of the psychology and the mind of the client, and also the coach, of course, because coach is also transforming themselves as they are interacting with the client. And at the domain of transformation, we develop a model to really measure how the transformation is being undertaken by the client themselves. We came up with a model to measure how the change and transformation is going on during the coaching session, and also a number of months after the session has been completed. And when we talk about coaching, by the way, it requires continuous engagement for 6 months or even 12 months. And during this period of time, we measure the change. And I think this is the place when climate change, climate reality change can also take place in here, when we bring up some contents about the awareness of the human and also the nature. So our model, we measure the change and transformation in individual based on awareness, mindset, behavior, engagement, and result. Coaching is not telling, coaching is not advising, coaching is not directly to the result. Coaching comes from the private domain of the person themselves to become aware of who they are, to know of why they are here, and what role they want to bring up to people around them. And from that awareness, we measure the change in mindset, how they see the reality, how they widen the perspective in looking at the world, in looking at the family, in looking at their job, so that they are self-driven to make a change in the behavior, through which, from that behavior, they engage more with people. They engage more with the environment at work, for example, or in business, or in the family, which then produce result, which we call the goal that they want to achieve. So there is a step-by-step process which we observe and we measure over a period of time. One of the researches that we conduct in our corporate client was for a global consulting firm. In 2019 until 2020, before, during, and after, before and during the pandemic, because when the coaching engagement was taking place, it was initially before the pandemic, and then suddenly in March, they work from home, and we continue on the engagement, and this is the result. When we use the Amber model, what we produce is something like this. There are 42 managers who were coached by their superiors who received coaching and supervision from us. And the result was something like this. 83% of the respondents feel they were able to increase awareness. They become more aware of themselves, of the goals that they want to achieve in the organization. And 83% of them claim that they changed their mindset. They gain clarity and new perspective and in responding to people and situation at work. 76% of the 42 managers, they claim they now make a change in behavior. They have been able to develop new behaviors that are important to help them achieve the goals. And Andri, if you can, that's it, yeah? 60% of them, they feel more engaged with the people, with the stakeholders, and able to collaborate with them even better. And 50%, finally, they are able to achieve the result as they want at work. And we can see the progression. 83% from awareness, 83% to mindset, and finally 50% of the result. And this is very logical progression because initially people become aware. And then they receive the change in mindset. They started making new behavior, and then from that behavior they engage more with people, and the result will come after that. We believe when the engagement is continued on, for example, for another 3 or 6 months, the result will increase to reflect how the awareness has also increased. Andri, can you make me bisa keluarin lagi? Yeah. Because I'm in the studio, I have an operator in front of me. So this is the research from the corporate world, and there is something else which is for us is so fulfilling. Kami semua di Coaching Indonesia bahagia ketika di awal pandemi we started doing pro bono coaching, and we open up to anyone who wants to be coach for free. And as a result, in 65 days, we onboard 205 coaches from our alumni. We have around 2,500 alumni from Coaching Indonesia Academy. And for this particular engagement, which we call Sahabat Sejati, 205 coaches join up. And when we open up the program, suddenly people just pouring, signing in. And in total, 593 clients engage in coaching sessions. Each client or each individual received 3 sessions for free during the pandemic, at the beginning of the pandemic, from March to April 2020. And within 65 days, we successfully completed 1,251 coaching sessions. And by the end of it, we measure the satisfaction rate 4.81 of 5 scale, which we measure every session. From every session that we complete, because we use the digital app, the client submit the impression. And in total, 4.81 of 5, which is very memuaskan. And this is the research. This is the research from 1,251 sessions. We use the emotional intelligence to as a framework of measurement, how coaching can impact well-being on people at the beginning of the pandemic. 75% become more self-aware. Coaching membantu saya menyadari pikiran dan emosi menghadapi krisis COVID-19. Yeah, 75% of 593 clients, they say this. Yeah. And 73%, they are able to manage themselves at the beginning of the pandemic. They say, dari proses coaching ini, saya terdorong untuk tetap positif dan optimis. Around social awareness, they say something like, coaching membuka perspektif baru dalam merespon situasi di sekeliling saya, 79%, which is satisfactorily. Yeah, they are able to navigate themselves at the beginning of the pandemic to engage more with the situation. Because of the mindset has changed, they are now being able to respond to the situation better. And around relationship management, 64% of those clients believe that they are now able to manage themselves and respond to the family, to their work, and also to others. So this is very fulfilling for us, how coaching can touch the human heart even during the crisis. And this crisis is not easy. And at the beginning of the crisis, we continually receive this emotional state from people who were worried, panic, nervous, not knowing what to do. And after coaching session, we measure how the change took place. After 65 days with our app, this is what we collected. So for us, coaching can really tell everyone, tell us everyone that it works at the level of human being. It works at the level of awareness, to see something bigger, to help them widen the perspective, and also engage more with people. And perhaps how can coaching help them connect with the nature, so they are able to be grounded and centered, and also healthy, and also become more confident to engage with everyone, with the people at work, and grow the business along the way. And I'd like to move on towards the end of the presentation, how the coaching trend in Indonesia for 2021 and beyond. We believe coaching will be more even accepted in private and public sector. Why? Because every day, every week, every month, we keep receiving inquiries from public sectors, from government, and from private sectors, local and multinational companies. What they want is to train their leaders to become coaches. So this is a good sign. This is positive trend that people are becoming more aware. Coaching is different than 15 years ago. Yeah, coaching is about realizing potential and how to engage with people so they can produce maximum result. The second trend that we witness as well is the invitation from the education and business community for coaches to participate. Right now, we are assisting the Ministry of Education and Culture to train guru penggerak. Yeah, there is an initiative in Indonesia from Kemendikbud, how teachers can apply coaching style teaching in facilitating coaching, in facilitating classes for their students. Because we know the old teaching style, which is one way, is no longer available, applicable for today's modern world. Students are participative. Students are creative. And we don't want to stop their creativity by telling them what to do. So teachers are embracing coaching style to teach, to facilitate the connection and interaction with their students. And thank you for Nadim, who initiated this program of Guru Penggerak. And we've been helping Kemendikbud for, I think, over the year right now. And it's been busy days for coaches who are participating in this initiative because they have to they have to read on so many materials, and then they have to teach guru penggerak how to facilitate the class with coaching style. And also in the community, small to medium enterprises are hiring coaches. So this is the positive trend. Small to medium enterprises are welcoming coaches in addition to mentoring. Mentoring is one way, teaching how to do the right thing, but coaching is a two-way communication, how to personalize and individualize the approach in business. And finally, with the digitalization and artificial intelligence, this is also a very much positive trend because coaching will be able to enlarge in the public domain. The artificial intelligence will be able to personalize individual needs. Let's say if you have a need of career coaching, you will interact with the machine to understand what is your ideal goal in career. And the machine will then produce the avatar. This is what you would look like ideally. And then the coach, the human being, comes in to really help the client progress in that direction. And the AI comes once in a while to check in, so it becomes more interactive. Yeah, and this is what inspired us to develop an app. How coaching can be accessible by anyone in Indonesia or even beyond in overseas, and it has been used for over a year. How people can find coaches by simply touching the buttons in their mobile app. And right now, with the coaching application that we call Vise Coach, you can find a coach in career, in wellness, in parenting, in leadership, business, sales, love, relationship, self-growth. There are 8 categories of coaching, and everyone can find a coach for their own. What we will be doing in the next 6 months or 1 year is to include a simple artificial intelligence machine to help you customize your journey and invite the learning machine to provoke your thinking and remind you when you are off track. And always there is a human being as a coach who comes and talk with you. So this is the trend for 2021 and beyond, and we will be happy to discuss how the climate change reality can also take place in here. Maybe there is one climate coaching here. So who knows? Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
So that's it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Coming back to you, Mbak Lia.
Thank you, Pak Al. Yeah, I think that's the goal. Yeah, how to put the climate coaching there. So thank you so much. I want to be coached as well now. Before I want to learn how to be a coach. Thank you so much for sharing. And then now I think it's the perfect timing to come to Ibu Amanda Katilinio, PhD. So she's the manager of the Climate Reality Project Indonesia, and she was a former special staff khusus apa ya special staff for the Minister of Environment, as well as the head of the expert team of the for the President's Special Envoy for climate change. So she has a long experience in this area, even maybe before I was born. So she will share a few things about the status of our climate crisis right now, and then how perhaps Ibu Amanda can share your hope on, how to get climate coaching thrive in Indonesia. Ibu Amanda Katili, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Leah. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay. Thank you, Ibu Josie. Thank you, Pak Al, for joining. And like Leah said, we expect to see the climate coaching specialization in the Vise Coach app, hopefully soon. But I would like to share about the climate crisis, because our event today is a joint work between coaching communities as well as the climate and environment communities. We have coaches here Some are my mentors because I've been through this coaching training with Coaching Indonesia, and I'm very happy. And it's very difficult because for decades, I've been telling people not to pollute the environment, don't throw your garbage anywhere, please clean everything. But now I'm not supposed to say anything. I'm not supposed to be judgmental. I'm not supposed to be patronizing. And that's very difficult. So let's try to find how we can use or apply coaching in addressing the climate crisis, which I'm going to show you now. What's the situation? Can you see my PowerPoint, Leah?
Ya,
Is
Ibu,
it
bisa.
on? Okay.
Yes.
So the title is the climate crisis, its causes, impact, solutions, and actions. Some of my environment and climate colleagues already know about this because we've been talking about this for more than 10 years. But for the purpose of this coaching activities, perhaps we could reshare this information that we have. Right now, we are facing lots of crises because of human activities. We will talk about the climate crisis. We know about the COVID-19 or the pandemic, and also the food crisis. There are almost 700 million people go hungry every night because they don't have enough food. But yet there are lots of food waste in the world. And Indonesia is #2 country in terms of food waste. So that's really discouraging. And I'm part of the Climate Reality Project. I'm managing the Climate Project Indonesia. It is part of a global organization established by Al Gore, a Nobel laureate, and also the former Vice President of the United States. So the mission of the Climate Reality Project is to catalyze a global solution to the climate crisis by making urgent action a necessity across every sector of society. So Al Gore, with a team of experts, including communicators, activists, scientists, train people from all walks of life. Their age range is about 12 to 87 years old on how to address the climate crisis. So we see that it's not only the jurisdiction of the government officials or scientists only, but everybody can also go for addressing the climate crisis. Right now, we have 31,000 climate reality leaders who have been trained by Al Gore in 170 countries. We have 500 in Indonesia. Some of them are in this room. I thank very high-ranking government officials in this Zoom meeting. I don't want to mention who they are. I don't want to put them on the spot, but we have very high-ranking officials in this Zoom meeting. So this is just the chart of what's happening. We have lots of activities, excessive fossil fuel use and land use change, and they're causing greenhouse gas emissions. We'll see later what they are. And these greenhouse gas emissions trigger climate change, which will result in disasters, natural disasters. And we do have the solutions because of humans' ingenuity. We have the solutions called adaptation and mitigation, which I will go about later. But these are the human activities that are causing greenhouse gas emissions, making the earth warmer, and then changing the climate. So forest burning, land transport, landfill, industrial agriculture, mostly the use of fossil fuel as well as land use change. And these are the costs of those excessive use of fossil fuel as well as land use change. Political instability in many countries, natural disasters getting worse, climate refugees, melting glaciers, as we know, famine, water scarcity, infectious diseases, which we are experiencing right now, and also sea level rise and much, much more. This happens in this happened in the United States, but if I took the Westville, New Jersey out, it could be in any country, as this one that happened in Chennai, India, but it also happened in Indonesia, China, and other parts of the world as well. So these are the global systems vulnerable to climate change because disruptions in these systems may lead to political or social instability. People who are sick, people who have no water, people who have no food for their daily life, they will lead to social instability. And these are the solutions that I mentioned. Adaptation is you reduce people's vulnerability to climate impacts and increasing their resilience to the global climate change. And mitigation is lowering the level of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and reducing emissions from human activities. There are many, many examples. You can list the solutions. Maybe there are 100 or 200 solutions. It depends what we are going to do. But also, climate change is one of the drivers of zoonotic pandemic risk, or the COVID-19, as we know now. So we should break the chain of the transmission, one of them including the climate crisis. And of course, agricultural intensification, urbanization, they're all the drivers of zoonotic pandemic risk as we are experiencing right now. And food is one of the solution. Food is the single strongest lever to optimize human health and environmental sustainability on Earth. So food is like two sides of the same coin. It can create the climate crisis, but it's also the solution to climate crisis if we are eating healthy and local food, as an example. And renewable energy is also one of the solutions. Over 260 global companies have made a commitment to go 100% renewable. These are the companies. Some of them may already ask Coaching Indonesia to coach their employers, but they are into renewable energy, and the number keeps counting. So we talk about individual actions. What can we do as individuals? Very simple. There is an app that you can see what you're doing, and you can record what you're doing. For example, bring your own bag. You don't use single-use plastic bag. You recycle. You consume plant-based meals. You turn your lights off. You shower only for 5 minutes. You drive less. You use fossil fuel less, for example. So these are individual actions, and you can do it easily, and it can help address the climate crisis. In addition to individual action, there are also coalitional action, which I think Josie can elaborate further. So this is the joint global statement on climate change from the professional bodies for coaching, coaching psychology, mentoring, and supervision. We see here the International Coach Federation that Pa Al mentioned several times in his presentation. And there are also other coaching organizations, and they are into addressing the climate crisis. So in my last two slides, it is important to join those who are using their voices, their votes, and their choices to fight the climate crisis, like what we are doing now. We are joining forces to talk about the climate crisis. It's very important because your world depends on it. This is our only home, the blue planet. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bu Amanda. I hear and deliver this presentation many times, but I've never get bored of it. So thank you again. And then before we go to Ibu Josie to learn about climate coaching alliance, I think we can spend the next 15 minutes for us to curhat in small breakout rooms. So we will send you to a group of 5 persons, and you can choose who will be the facilitator. But I know 15 minutes is not enough to curhat about what does climate change means to me. I think we need to really think about it then I guess it would be very interesting for the people who've already been long in climate change. Maybe, this is something that make you couldn't go to sleep at night, or like, really make you worried, anxious, maybe depressed, or maybe you're hopeful on it. You're hopeful that there will be solution, and I'm really looking forward to the new sustainable low carbon world, for example. So you can share whatever there, and I would love to hear what your thought later when you got back to this main room. So after this, Mbak Arifa will send you to each group, and then you can have maybe each person 2 minutes to share. I know it's not a lot, but let's try. Let's try to have everyone to say what's their what they think about climate change. What does climate change mean to me? So after 15 minutes, and then we will send you back here again, and then we will hear Ibu Josie about Climate Coaching Alliance. So Bapak Ibu, I guess Mbak Arifa can send the participants to go into breakout rooms.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
Have a good time.
Aku nggak dikirim ya ke situ.
Saya dikirim, tapi saya sebentar
Ibu bisa
dulu.
masuk sendiri, Ibu.
Gimana caranya? Oh, aku bisa ngintip-ngintip ya kemana-mana ya.
Nah, Bu.
Oke. Itu ada yang anak sign tuh 3 orang. Lulu.
Ya, ini lagi di-assign, Bu.
Oke. Oh, ini room 1 coach semua isinya.
Mau dipindah-pindahin, Bu?
Enggak. Gimana caranya aku mau join?
Ibu tinggal join aja, itu klik dari room 1 kan ada tulisan join, Ibu nyemplung aja situ.
Enggak ada tulisan join.
Ada, Bu, room 1 ada join biru.
Enggak.
Ibu
Nggak
soalnya nggak ada namanya di saya, Bu. Ibu tinggal nyemplung-nyemplung aja.
Nggak bisa.
Kok nggak bisa sih, Bu?
Bentar, saya cuma pengen lihat. Ini kok ada tulisan not join itu apa maksudnya?
Belum masuk, masih di sini.
Bisa dilempar nggak?
Nggak bisa, mereka yang harus join.
Mungkin mereka dia ada bawa function.
Oh iya.
Lia bisa lompat-lompat room kan, Lia?
Aku nggak bisa ya.
Tuh Lia bisa, Bu.
I can't.
Ibu klik
Jadi,
roomnya. Terus kan
yang
di sebelahnya room 1 ada tulisan join, Bu.
Nggak ada.
Really?
Ibu
foto ya?
Ibu coba klik yang ada tulisan angka 5 itu.
Oh itu. Oh iya. Iya.
Ya, beberapa orang sepertinya ada yang sholat. Some of the participants might do the prayer. So maybe they are AFK, away from keyboard.
Ini kalau kita mau mindahin orang kan harus izin dulu.
Arifa.
Mbak
Ya, Bu.
Manda.
Iya, lo kenapa?
Gua kepental.
Bantuin dong.
Gue grup 10 tadi. 10.
Oh, tadi yang minta tolong. Arifa bisa
Dan
nggak?
gue cuma berdua tadi di situ.
Bentar, nih gue kirim lagi ya.
Oke, thanks.
Sudah Bu, sudah dikirim.
Sip, thank you.
Oke.
Tapi sendirian kayaknya grup 10.
Masukkan ke link yang lebih banyak aja tuh.
Iya Mbak Kuki di 10 kosong. Sendirian dia.
Sama Josie. Di yang lain aja
Josie, tapi Josie.
Iya sebentar.
room 5 atau yang ada coachnya, 4. Karena
Iya,
coachnya ada yang
banyaknya.
ngumpul di satu tempat tadi.
Iya, ini di 8 nggak ada coachnya.
Ya, room 2 Mbak, room 2. Kirim Mbak Kuki ke room 2 aja.
Mbak Kuki udah di room 8 tuh. Mau dipindahin?
Tapi nggak ada coach. Nggak ada coach.
Ini kenapa jadi ada yang nggak ada coach?
Kan coachnya lebih sedikit daripada roomnya.
Tapi pas kok kalau tiap room satu coach.
Ada 15.
Ada.
Iya, karena ada
room
satu
2.
kelompok ada yang 3 coach.
Tadi udah
Di room 2 nih
kok.
ada satu.
Tapi jangan dilempar-lempar, stres mereka ntar.
Iya, makanya orang udah ini kenapa? Oh, itu semua kayaknya itu bukan coach tapi itu coach semua yang room 2 ya. Tadi mungkin dia belum namain dirinya pakai coach, terus dia berubah, Bu.
Oh, gitu. Iya, di room 2 ada 3 coach.
Jadi mohon maaf.
Ya nggak apa-apa. Room 3 bagus, ada Dita, coach. Room 4 juga bagus. Itu
ini programnya apa ya?
Ibong, udah masuk ke ini nggak? Ibong mau masuk.
Tadi dimasukin ke room 9 cuman berdua, nanti saya panco lagi masih itu. Berdua.
Ya udah masukin ke room 2 aja atau 1. Atau room 3 sama ponakannya Uji. Masukin room 3 aja dong, Arifah, Ibong.
Nggak ada namanya, Bu.
Ibong nggak ada namanya.
Ada
Dia
tadi
sudah keluar kayaknya, Bu. Jadi nggak bisa dimasukin lagi.
Saya tadi di-assign ke room 9. Tapi di room 9 cuman berdua.
Iya, ada yang nggak masuk.
Ini nih.
Cuman berdua, udah gitu yang ada videonya cuman saya sendiri.
Udah tuh, aku udah lempar ke room 3. Udah masuk belum?
Room 3?
Udah masuk belum? Udah aku lempar.
Kok bisa di room 2 tapi videonya di sini? Kan bingung.
Room 3. Sudah.
Bisa di broadcast to all. Waktunya tinggal sekitar 2 menit.
Iya.
Nanti untuk sesi kedua langsung di-set saja jadi 5 menit 10 menit atau jadi 7. Tapi bisa nggak ya dibagi-baginya lebih rata gitu untuk nanti?
Kayaknya bisa mendingan dibagi rata di nggak manual karena kalau dia otomatis dia akan membagi sendiri.
Hi Josie, we are figuring out the breakout rooms. So I hope you don't mind we speak bahasa Indonesia. They will
Jadi random nggak, Kak?
Nggak random.
Ini nanti gini, can you Lia only give like floor for 2 groups maybe, and then the others can write in the chat room, in the chat box, what comes out of their group, or do you want them to all share?
Maybe they just write it in the chat box, Bu. I don't think we have time for that.
Okay.
Yeah, we already over time here, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then after this, we'll ask them to write in the chat box their impression, and then we'll have Josie explain about climate coaching, because we really would like to know the examples of climate coaching. and also about
Exactly.
Climate Coaching Alliance.
Okay. Mungkin
Lumayan
bisa
15
diundang,
menit.
Mbak. Diundang balik. Sepertinya udah pada selesai nih.
Oke.
Ya, dilempar aja balik. Dilempar balik aja.
Time's up gitu ya.
Ya.
Tuh, 2, 3, 4, close.
Halo everyone.
Belum. We'll close
Halo
in
Bapak
35
Ibu.
seconds. 35 seconds, Li.
Ya. Oke.
Belum
Good.
pada masuk. All mereka belum. We'll close in 20 seconds. Basa-basi dulu ya, gimana?
While waiting for the others to come back here, maybe Bapak Ibu can write down something. What was your experience joining, sharing? What does climate change means to you? That would be greatly appreciated. Apakah lega? Ada yang lega nggak tadi curhat? Atau
Kurang
malah
lama,
ngobrol?
Mbak, ya.
Kurang
Kurang
lama ya?
Baru serunya ngobrol udah di stop.
Udah keluar semua unek-uneknya.
Nah,
Udah
udah.
Ngobrol sama sekali, Kak.
Pak Dadang
Oh,
sama
ada yang
Mbak
nggak
Dita lagi
kebagian.
keluarin petata petitih, tiba-tiba di
Jebret gitu ya. Lo masih bohong.
15 menit itu ternyata dikit ya.
Memang, makanya tadi kan sudah di warning, jadi ya 2 menit tiap orang, aku tahu itu sangat susah sekali gitu kan ya, terutama kalau sudah cair, sudah pada kenal dengan satu sama lain, terus tiba-tiba pengen mengeluarkan semua unek-uneknya. Artinya sudah butuh beberapa ini. Thank you so much. Tapi mungkin for those of you who haven't got the chance to speak, yeah, because the others really like to share, curhat, maybe you can write that down in the chat box. And the others as well, we would like to invite.
Oh, kaos saya.
Oh, wow.
Wah, itu kaos senior sekali itu.
Yeah. So for Bapak Ibu from the coaching community, you know, this is the climate reality gang. we meet pretty regularly, so, and then we sometimes work in the same area, so we kind of like friends to each other. So yeah, yeah, if you have something to write down, I think that would be great. Now I will just like read some of them. For Mbak Trisnawati Sutejo atau Ibu, yes, I'm inspired by Pak Iqbal, Ibu Intan, and Pak Jamie in room 6, that, you know, to collaborate and to network is very important so that we can gain new knowledge, experience, and also to ask other people to be more aware of climate crisis. I think that's the beauty and the power of it, right? That we share to our close friends, family, or people that, you know, we care about, that climate crisis is happening and it's impacting us and you, everyone. So yeah, that would be great to learn about your experiences in the breakout room. Just keep them coming while you're writing down, some of you, and I would like to invite our next speaker from Climate Coaching Alliance that will share about, you know, what is Climate Coaching Alliance and how can we be more involved in that, etc., etc. And then if any of you have questions for Pak Al, Ibu Amanda, and Ibu Josie, please just write it down as well. Don't be sungkan, because we are here, you know, as a community, we care for each other and we support each other. So yeah, just write them down. Ibu Josie McLean, PhD from Climate Coaching Alliance. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Leah. And I'd like to start by thanking Amanda for inviting me along today. It's a real pleasure and honour to be speaking with you all. I've got some slides that I'll share with you, but there were three main things that I wanted to share with you this evening. The first is around what is coaching, the Climate Coaching Alliance, and why did it come into existence? I would like to share with you one model that we use within the Climate Coaching Alliance that builds a really inclusive and energetic network of people who are learning together. And climate change can be something that often polarizes people. I don't know whether you notice that in your country, but certainly in my country, climate change has become quite a political football, and we've been arguing about whether it exists or not for over 10 years. And one of the things that's really important, I think, is that we get over this yes or no argument and get into a conversation around what do we really want. So we find this model helps us a lot with that. And thirdly, I'd like to share with you a little bit about what we're learning in answer to the question, what is climate coaching? And I really want to thank Al Falak for his earlier presentation on what is coaching, because the Climate Coaching Alliance is building upon our existing understanding of what coaching is and asking ourselves, how does coaching itself and our understanding of what coaching is need to change as we come into contact with these much more complex challenges like climate change. So I'll start with what is the Climate Coaching Alliance. And I'm very happy to share these slides with you later if you would like them. And there's a lot of English written on them, so I hope you can understand them. Here we go. I'll see if I can share my screen. Can you see that okay?
Yes, beautiful.
Thank you very much. I should take notice of the time too. Here we go. So the Climate Coaching Alliance is a network of professional coaches, coaching supervisors. So some coaches also are coached or supervised by other more senior coaches to help them recognise where their development needs are as well. So the Climate Coaching Alliance consists of coaches, coaching supervisors, psychologists who are coaching, leadership development professionals, and now we find we're also attracting sustainability professionals. And I think that's really important because one of the things that coaching has to offer that I think Al Falak really pointed out beautifully is that coaching understands the process of change. And I've been interested in sustainability and climate change. I've been a researcher academically in the climate change field in transdisciplinary teams looking at climate change and the way farmers need to adapt their practices too. And one of the things that has been severely lacking in the technical and scientific approaches has been, what does this mean for people? How do people actually change in response to this? If you're told that the temperature is going to go up by 2 or 3 degrees, what does that mean for your life? And how do you make sense of it? Make sense of it enough to actually change. And this is some of the capability that coaches can bring to this conversation of how do we need to change in order to respond to climate change. And we often, many of us feel that there's not a lot of time to do this response in. So how do we actually accelerate our response as well? So the purpose of the Climate Coaching Alliance is to build a network of professional coaches and associated professionals that can learn how to accelerate our understanding of how to change and act on the climate crisis. So the CCA, the Climate Coaching Alliance, is a network. It's not an organisation. We don't have a board. We don't have a constitution. We have over 850 members, probably a lot more after today, I think. And we are a learning community, if you like. We are trying to learn how we can help people change as they grow more aware of climate change. And we're trying to learn how to raise that awareness that climate change is actually happening, and we all have a part to play in responding. So we're a purpose-led, open and free network. Everything we do is for free. Nothing costs money. So we work on human energy alone, and we are focused on our purpose. We follow the principles of living systems. Now that may or may not make any sense to you at this point in time, but living systems is an understanding of how living systems like humans, how living systems like natural ecological environments actually work. What are the principles that enable them to sustain themselves in the long term? So we follow the principles of a sustainable ecology, if you like, in the way that we actually run our organisation. We apply that to our social system. And we don't have a lot of control on the network. We allow people to follow their own hearts and their own energy, and they go towards the things that matter most to them. And answers emerge, and it ripples throughout the community. Today is a beautiful example of that. On the 4th of March, we are engaging in our third 24-hour global conversation. So this is a conversation that goes around the world. It started today at around about midday in New Zealand, and it will go on for until tomorrow about midday, my time. We asked our community, what would you like to do? What would you like to bring to this global conversation? And over 100 of them have supplied open and free workshops over these 24 hours. So if you go to our website later on, you'll see an entire program there, and there's still time to register and join in if you would like to. So since November 2019, when we started the CCA, 3 of us, I was one of the co-founders, Eve Turner is another co-founder, and Alison Wybrow is the 3rd co-founder. So we started with 3 members a little over a year ago, and now we have over 850 over 6 continents. And we have a number of local communities starting to form in the physical location as well. So there are a number of local communities in the United Kingdom. I think there's one in Ireland. There's several popping up in the US. There's some in India. There's one emerging in Australia now. Where else can I think of? South Africa has a local community, and maybe Indonesia might be next. That would be splendid if we could help you do that. So we're a virtual network of people, if you like, and we are mostly professional coaches, but also some professional sustainability practitioners. So we're trying to equip coaches about how they can help their clients respond to climate change. And in addition to that, we are also trying to provoke and invite change within the coaching profession itself. And so over the last 12 months, we've engaged with some of the professional coaching bodies, preferably the global ones. There's a huge number of professional coaching bodies, but we've engaged with many of the major coaching bodies, and they have signed a joint global statement on climate change. So what this means is that 10 of these major bodies, which represent over 60,000 coaches around the world now, have come together in a unique collaboration and said, we are going to commit ourselves to a collective voice and to collaborate together to enable action on climate and ecological crisis issues. And it's about actually giving service and creating social value. So their focus is on creating social value, on nurturing people and planet is another way of expressing that, if you like. So they're committed to raising awareness and knowledge within the coaching bodies and getting coaches to reflect on their role and their practice. I think this is tremendously important because many coaches, those of you who are not coaches would not be aware of this, but many coaches have been trained to follow almost like a prime directive, that is, follow your coachee's agenda. The coach is not meant to bring their agenda to the conversation. And what this joint global statement on climate change is saying to coaches is that it's ethical. It is okay to raise this issue of climate change. It's not unethical for you to raise it. And we have had a number of conversations within our community of coaches discussing the ethics of raising climate change. There's still some coaches that feel uncomfortable about it, and that's okay. There's a number starting to understand that when we rethink what the emergency is, it makes good sense that it's ethical for coaches to raise this issue. Let me see if I can give you an example. This example actually comes from a friend of mine in London. His name is Neil Scotton, and I always like to refer the examples I use to accredit them to the right person. So Neil uses the example of asking coaches, if you saw your client standing in the middle of the road in front of a bus that was about to run them over, would you actually try to help your client? Would you try to get them out of the way of the bus? Most of us would say yes, wouldn't we? We'd try to help them. Well, our point is that climate change is the bus, and it's our role to actually help our clients. For many of our clients, I live in Australia, and we've just gone through in the last 12 months the most horrific fires here, where we've seen business disrupted, homes lost and lives lost as a result of climate change. And these disruptions are going to become more and more regular and more extreme, as Amanda has shown us in her presentation. So it's our ethical duty to actually raise these issues with our clients in service of their own businesses and their own lives. So I've just added a link there. If you wanted to take a photo of this slide, you could follow that link to actually download the statement if you're interested in reading it. So the second thing I wanted to share with you this evening was this model that we've been using within the Climate Coaching Alliance. And it's very helpful. And you might, as I explain this model, ask yourself, where do I sit in amongst these phases of this cycle of becoming aware? So Professor Peter Hawkins, who is well known for his work in systemic coaching, actually helped us design this particular model. And it has changed and morphed as our members have come into contact with it and initially said to Peter, no, that's not right, we need to change that. And they have, and now it's a circle. And many describe it as a spiral, actually. But the starting point might be the curious part down in the bottom right-hand corner, where you're noticing that you're starting to see changes in the world or, you know, the place where you live around you. So the sorts of changes I might see are that some of the trees in the hills that I live in are actually starting to die now because they don't get the rainfall that they used to get. I also noticed a couple of weeks ago that I had a fire at the doorstep of my house and we had to evacuate. So that's never happened before in the 30 years that I've lived here either. So there are different things that we notice. Perhaps for you, it's flooding. What's changing in the world around you? And it starts to make us curious, and we're open to discovering more about what's happening in the environment and in our communities, our societies, and even in the economics, because there's an economic impact from all of this as well. So we start becoming curious and inquiring into it more. Then we come into contact with organisations like Climate Reality, and we become more informed. We start to look at the data. We start to understand the science to find out what's really happening. Now, at the Climate Coaching Alliance, we're not suggesting that coaches actually need to become environmental scientists. That's not the point at all. But we do need to become aware of the background information about where are we in this journey of climate change? How much time do we think we have to actually respond to this? What might be sort of some of the things that people need to respond to in order to make an impact? There are technical specialists that can tell us exactly what we need to do, but it's just about raising your general knowledge, if you like, around climate change in this informed stage. As we become aware, and I don't know if you've experienced this for yourself, but I certainly have. As we become aware of climate change, we actually start to go through some emotions. We start to fear sometimes for the future of our children, that they may not have the opportunities in the future that we have had in our own lives, that in fact climate change may actually close down the number of opportunities that people have in the future. There are predictions of mass numbers of climate refugees occurring into the future, for example. And there's a grief for life that was, and we experience a sense of loss for what might have been as we realise that things are changing, and they may get quite, it may get quite dangerous and ugly for some of us. And so at the Climate Coaching Alliance, we're also very aware that eco-anxiety is a real thing these days, that people are concerned about the future. And there are a large number of emotional responses that need to be processed and worked through too. And in the Climate Coaching Alliance, we are there to help support our members go through that. And it's not that you go through it once. In my experience, it comes in like waves of grief when we lose a loved one, as I'm sure many of you may have experienced. It will overcome you at different times. And so that ongoing support is a very useful thing. And to know that that reaction is a very normal thing is also very helpful. As we start to manage our own emotions, we move into an engaged place, we hope. We hope that we don't just retreat from society and give up, that we actually move into a hopeful phase, and that our hope is expressed in action, where we develop the skills to bring the topic of climate and climate and ecological crisis into every coaching relationships. And that's what the Climate Coaching Alliance is really focused upon doing. How do we learn how to do that? It involves recontracting with our clients. It involves perhaps changing the way we see the world, and I'll say more about that in a moment. And learning how to bring this conversation in without just putting people's defences up and having them turn off. And finally, in the active stage, we're taking responsibility to influence much more widely. And this is where the systemic interventions into the profession and things like that sit. We're acting with an awareness and intention to influence many more stakeholders. So you might look at that 5-stage model and just ask yourself, where's my centre of gravity now? And perhaps just pop that into the chat box if you would for a moment, and I'll take a breath. So where are you now? Our experience is that we tend to move around that cycle over time. So the third thing that I promised to talk about this evening is really what is climate coaching. And to be honest, there's no one definition of that. As Alfarak mentioned earlier, coaching is fundamentally about raising awareness. So results are changed because people's thinking is changed. So coaching is about raising a sense of awareness and a sense of responsibility for doing things differently. And it traditionally focuses just on an individual. Coaching's often used, the metaphor we often use for coaching is that it's like holding a mirror up to our clients to help them see themselves, to raise their awareness about themselves and the way they interact with other people so that they can become more effective at doing that. So it's just about the individual. But when we start to think about adding things like climate in, we start to see that there's another way of thinking about coaching that emerges. There's a different awareness that we can bring to the practice of coaching itself. Instead of just focusing on the individual, we can start to see the individual within a set of nested systems. So, for example, the individual is actually a part of their family, or they're a part of the team that they work at work. They're a part of an organisation. They're a part of a community. Each one of these circles is another larger system that they're a part of. So they're a part of their families, they're a part of their community. And guess what? Their community is a part of the natural environment that we all depend upon to eat, to drink water, and to breathe air. That's our life support system. And when we look at it this way, we start to see that we can focus not just on the individual, but the individual and their relationship with all of the other parts of the system. So one way of understanding climate coaching then is to say that we're still holding the mirror up to our client, but we're holding the mirror up to our client with an acknowledgement of the client's interdependence with all of the other parts of the larger system. So as I mentioned before, coaches don't need to be technical experts. They just need to be able to engage their clients in the process of making meaning of what is happening around them and how they need to respond in their particular context. Help them develop the courage to do things differently. The clarity and the personal transformation that is at the heart of this larger systemic transformation. Let me see if I can explain that, because that's hugely conceptual, isn't it? It's hard to get your head around. How can we change the whole system? And this has been an area of my research for over 15 years. What I've discovered is that actually changing the whole system requires each one of us to change the way we actually view the way we are relating with each other and the way we are living and the way we are working. How can we change our own patterns in order to reduce our carbon emissions? How can we change our own patterns in order to not buy things that we really don't need? These are the sorts of questions that coaches can actually help their clients with. And I hope that gives you a bit of a flavour of what climate coaching is about, what the Climate Coaching Alliance is doing. And I hope maybe you might even like to come and join us. It's free, it's open to everyone. There's a link there if you would like to be a part. We have monthly meetings for people to get together and talk and make sense of all of this for themselves. And we have our program that's ongoing for about another 18 hours today, if you would like to join that too. So thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you very much, Ibu Josie. That was very make me realize that it is ethical to, as a coach, to raise the issue of climate change, because you said about the analogy of, if you see someone is under the bus, will you let them be there, or you help them try to get out of that? So I guess we are in that position right now. We see ourselves, all of us, under the bus. Maybe that's very even advisable. It's okay to do that, to coach about climate change, and also maybe it's even advisable, right? Yeah, so yeah, that's great to hear that. And then I have some participants here writing their experiences and comments, also some questions. So perhaps while we are about to prepare for our second second breakout rooms, then maybe the speakers can see briefly the questions here and maybe answer it by writing it down, because we have very limited time. But while that, and thank you very much for all who answered the question from Ibu Josie as well. It's great to see you all sharing. And then now we're about to go to our second with empowering questions. Ibu Josie mentioned about eco-anxiety, perhaps, yeah, or a very spirited mind to, try to tackle the solution. Then the empowering question would be, what do I do next? So that's the question for everyone to answer in the breakout room, and so that you can also learn from each other about their answer of that. All right. Okay, so is everyone ready? Now we're trying to have 10 to 12 minutes of time. So make sure that everyone will have the turn to speak beforehand. Maybe the one of you who really like to speak perhaps can also give floor to others who might be a bit shy and not really talkative, then so that everyone can speak their mind. All right, Marifa, please send the participants to the breakout rooms. Okay. Hello. Room. My internet connection is very bad.
But I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right, okay.
We still have some in the main room, right?
Yeah. And also some still unassigned.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Josie,
Okay,
are you going to the room?
Sorry, I missed the question.
Are you going to
go
the
to a room? Would you like to go to a room?
No, I won't. I don't want to inhibit people because I don't speak the language.
Right.
Ibu Amanda, are you going to jump and jump?
I'll just go in and out.
Iya, please check the room. Ya, masih kosong nggak? Room 1 belum ada yang on. Room 2 sudah. Room 3 sudah. Room 4 sudah. Room 6 sudah jalan. Room 8 full nih, rame nih kayaknya Bu. Room 8 Bu. Bu Kuki sama Elshinta. Ada Coach Asep juga. Harusnya nggak usah dikasih coach ya, ada Mbak Kukinya.
Itu ada yang belum dia unassign juga. Debbie sama Sri Wahyuni.
Ini ruang 16 dibubarin aja apa ya, kosong?
Itu Mbak, yang room 1, Debbie Natalia sama Sri Wahyuni taruh di situ.
Mbak Lia, Mbak Arifah, tadi aku di grup 3, sorry tadi internetnya agak-agak putus.
Oh, oke. Ya, taruh saja di, mungkin di grup 1 aja.
Oke. Itu Sri Wahyuni ya?
Ya, tapi masih ada 2 aja ya. Ini.
Oke. Soalnya internetnya
Itu
juga
Mbak
hilang-hilangan.
Debbie masih di sini.
Mendung banget. Ini room 7 cuma ada 2.
Nggak ada ya. Kok Darah Hamsyah nggak ada ya? Aku di waiting room ada Hairullah. Banyak yang belum masuk ya? Satu. Josie, are you doing okay? Can you follow the process?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Very good, thank you.
But this is good because we are part of the climate coaching action day, right? We are on the map.
You are. And yeah, it's really exciting.
Room 16 itu bisa dipindah ke room 7 atau room yang kurang. Room 16
Ya,
itu kan cuma 2 nih, Mbak Puji sama Ibu Lulu. Pindah aja langsung, Mbak. Ke 7.
Ke 7 ada 5 loh.
Sorry, ya, tapi kan itu 2 nggak join.
Oke.
Nggak apa-apa, lebih banyak juga nggak apa-apa, it's okay.
Udah pindah belum?
Udah. Good.
Mbak Dia? Lagi sholat kali ya?
Sholat kali. Tapi lama kali sholatnya.
Dia baru divaksin itu. Baru divaksin, ngantuk kali.
Itu namanya menyetorkan nama, Bu.
Thank you for your support, Mbak.
Oke, saya jalan-jalan dulu ya. Ada Ajeng juga di sini.
Oh, really?
Iya. Katanya lihat, kok itu kamu kayak ada cahaya dari ilahi. Aku masuk tempatnya Ajeng ah.
You're doing good, Arifa. Thank you for being the breakout room general.
Well, some of the things we cannot control. I try to spread people, but the people doesn't want to be spread.
Roomnya penuh orangnya, nggak masuk gimana? Oh, jadi nggak bisa dimasukin karena roomnya udah penuh tapi nggak ada orang gitu?
Enggak, orangnya udah dimasukin tapi nggak online.
Okay. So Josie, we are talking about the technicalities of breakout rooms.
Very tricky.
Yes. And then they're all complaining because we only gave 15 minutes. But if they only knew that in the Climate Coaching Alliance, it's only 10 minutes breakout room time. See?
Yeah, we're very mean with the time. 15 minutes is nice though.
Yeah. But they were complaining it should be longer, they said.
Well, Indonesian people are a chatter.
Yeah, you know, you have to get to know each other first because before you can give your opinions.
We tend to go around the circle before come to the business.
It's a good practice, I think.
Yeah.
We call it basa-basi, Ibu Josie.
What is it, basa-basi? Yeah.
Basa-basi, I mean small talk, and then we try to get to know each other, and then we talk business.
Nice. Getting to know each other is important.
Yes.
We're just starting to realize that in our society.
Yeah, it's politeness, they said. You don't just go go directly to your point. You have to build rapport first. What time is it in Adelaide? Thank you so much, Josie.
Oh, I'll be up for a lot later yet. So it's 9:20 here in the evening.
Oh my goodness. But there will be recordings of the events, right?
Yeah. And there's been some really good ones. I attended a great one from New Zealand earlier on this afternoon about a teacher using coaching to work with teenage children in schools to raise awareness around climate change using social media. Oh, what a mouthful that was, but it was really great. Yeah.
So
really good.
Should we send our recording to Alison, to you, or how do I do that?
If you send it to me, I can link it to the promotional material on the website for this session, and people can go there and just access it to view it.
Yeah, it's we relate this on YouTube, so we will get a YouTube link.
That would be brilliant. Yeah, we'll just put the link on the website.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, I listened to the one with, you were there too this afternoon. Stephen Ulster, what's his name? About
Ulrich, Stephen Ulrich. Yeah.
Ulrich. Yeah.
Oh.
I was there. Very interesting. I was there. I know I missed some good things, but I'll watch the recording.
Did you get to see Tom Karnick, Rivet Karnick? Was that impressive, hey?
Yes, because I read his book with Christiana Figueres. So I thought he would do the talking, but he interviewed his coach.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
Now, when we first approached him, and I gave him this big spiel about what coaching was, and he sat through it. And then he said, I know I've got a coach. So what I'd like to suggest is I interview my coach. I'm sick of him asking the questions.
Yeah, that's really good. And he answered all the questions. And I followed Joe's Instagram account, but not much on coaching in his Instagram account. So when Tom asked questions, then I realized how deep he is into this coaching.
Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was a great session.
Yeah,
and I think they might do something for us again yet. I hope.
Oh, good. Please keep us posted.
I'd really like to see if we could get Christiana to do something for us too.
You can ask Tom to ask Christiana.
We will be.
That's
Mbak
good.
Rifa, maybe you can send the blast message. 1 more minute.
Oh, one minute?
Ya, sebenarnya 2 menit 40, but yeah, let's just say
I
to
just
them.
shared the 3 more minutes, Lia.
Oh, okay. Alright then.
Nanti kalau diganti 1 more minute, aku diomelin.
Oke.
Ini nggak apa-apa ya orang maghrib ya atau gimana ya? Nggak usah ngomong gitu apa gimana?
Masih lama kok Bu, maghribnya kan after 6 kalau nggak salah.
Oh, oke. 6.15 ya kayaknya ya, oke.
Kalau nggak salah.
Yeah, we can make it very a quick wrap. I guess.
Oh iya,
I'll go around.
6:10, jadi kita sampai 6:15 nggak apa-apa kan? We are talking about praying time, Josie, because we have 5 rituals in a day, and the next one would be like 6:15. I mean 6:10, and it's now almost 6, but if we go over 5 minutes, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so later on for the closing, I will ask the speakers for 1 minute closing statement. And then, yeah, before that, perhaps we can answer 1 or 2 questions from people. I saw there are a few questions there.
Can you read it to us? I mean, it's too
many.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to scroll up. It's
Oke, roomnya aku tutup ya, Lia.
Iya, silakan.
Okay. Is Bapak Al still with us?
Di breakout room ada tadi. Kalau nggak ada, Dita aja ya mungkin.
Where is the question?
Makanya nggak ada kan?
Ada tadi pertanyaan from yeah, maybe it will be my question then. How to join the coaching community?
Yeah.
Coaching Indonesia community?
You have to, yeah, you have to be more specific.
Yeah. But first, how get coached first?
Okay,
you can, yeah. Well, you can download Coach app into your mobile and get the experience of being coached by one of our coaches. Yeah. And then when you receive an experience, and then you know how coaching is like, and then you can make a decision to sign up to our coaching certification program. So that is the best way to do, to receive something from the coach as an experience. And then if you are feeling this is me, then you can sign up for the coaching certification program. Yeah. The app is called Coach. Coach.
Yeah, maybe if you or your team can write it that our coach.
Yeah, you can download it from Android or iPhone. Yeah, you can download it from App Store or Google Play Store, and you can find a coach to suit your individual needs. You can bring up a coach, your needs in career, wellness, or leadership, or sales, and then there is one pro bono coaching session for you. Sign up for it. Yeah, make a contact with the coach that you like. You see the profiles, and then if you think this coach suits your need, then make a contact with them, and then get a free preview session, which is gratis, yeah, pro bono. If you would like to continue with your coaching, it will be a paid coaching, and there is a price for it, but you don't have to. Get the experience for one free session, yeah, pro bono, yeah. Anything you like, yeah, anything you want to lose weight, for example, we have wellness coach. You want to be more healthy and fresh at work, there is a also self-growth coach. Yeah, but Dita is a career coach, leadership coach as well. Yeah.
Who is the
Head of
relationship
Bruno
coach?
Coaching. The relationship coach is actually just next door to me. Yeah, he is around. He's not joining the room, but he is around me. Yeah.
Yeah, because right now my
Relationship.
relationship coach is Ibu Amanda and Mbak Kuni to Yahmun. I
Oh,
need
okay.
better coach.
Ibu Amanda gives you advice, yeah, how to find a mate.
Yeah, they're terrible at it.
How to find pasangan ideal.
Thank you so much, Coach Alfalak. Saya bisa panggilnya begitu ya, Coach Alfalak. And then maybe for Ibu Josie, maybe you can also share very quickly how to join the Climate Cultural Alliance. You've mentioned before that there is a website that we can go to. Maybe you can repeat that again so that everyone can jump into that website right after this. Yeah, Ibu Josie.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
I've just put the link into the chat box. So if you'd like to join us, please do.
Yeah, all right then. Thank you so much for sharing. And then I would like to perhaps invite two participants to share what you have during the session. Maybe if anyone wants to, please raise your hand. You can share it very briefly because we don't have much time. About to have a prayer, yeah, for the Muslim participants. Any one of you? Because it's great to have the written version of it, but we would like to hear one or two out of you. One from coaching community and one from climate reality. I guess that's good. I wouldn't call out names, but yeah, if there is any volunteer, that would be great. Just like say a few words. Just one. Any?
Yeah, probably I can.
Or maybe. Yeah. Okay.
I'm from Coaching Indonesia.
Who's talking? Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Melissa. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I share?
silakan.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I should say, Josie presentation and Ibu Amanda very inspiring, and it made me aware that there was climate crisis ahead of us, and I think it will be also very dangerous for my kid, who will also face climate crisis in the future. So what I suggest in my group before that, what can I do next, is that collaboration. The collaborations with any organizations or with the government, let's say Ministry of Education might be one of the alternatives. Why? Because of Coaching Indonesia has engaged with the Ministry of Education, and we help most of 900 teachers across Indonesia who are now aware of the coaching session. If we can collaborate with the Ministry of Education, it will have impact more than we do it ourselves individually. So my suggestion is, Ibu Amanda Katili, is collaboration, And I think what Jose mentions about the Peter Hawkins approach of the climate alliances also will be one of the topic that we can share with the organization. So collaboration, Bu Amanda, that might be my suggestion. Act now. Thank you.
Mbak Lia, saya boleh? Halo.
Silakan.
I think thanks to
Thank
Elk
you,
and
Coach Asad.
Joe. So it still come to my mind. What if you mentioned that the client is a base for not too much the coach involved or engaged in the internal process. What if our client is really totally in the business of anti-climate change, like fossil fuel companies and so on? Is it ethical, for example, to push them to change not only at the level of the individual, but the overall the ideas of sustainability? Thanks.
Thank you very much, Pak Farhan. Sorry, my internet was cut out. So yeah, thank you, Coach Asad, before was sharing. So I think it's great. This is I think great event, and I think this first meetup for the coaching and climate community. So I hope this won't be the last one. We will have more meaningful meetings and discussions and curhat sessions and of course coaching sessions. And then I'm very happy to meet you all here, dapat kenalan baru. And then before I close this, maybe I will invite Ibu Amanda to say a few closing words to our participants. Ibu.
Yeah, thank you so much, Leah. I would like to use this time first to congratulate you on your next endeavor, because Leah is going to the United States to study for a PhD in climate communications in Washington, D.C. area. But we will still force her to lead our sessions in whatever meetings we have, because we are all volunteers. And for those of you who would like to join as climate reality leaders and would like to be trained by Al Gore, our next training is in October 2021. It's usually a few days online training, several hours a day. And after you completed the training, you will be certified as a climate reality leader. But if you don't think it's for you, you can also ask Climate Reality Indonesia, for example, to share some information like Pak Al mentioned for the teachers, for example, because we've been asked by the Ministry of Environment and Ministry of Education and Culture to also talk to the teachers in a non-technical way, but to provide information about the climate crisis and what they as teachers could do. So either way, we can do some collaborations. And I've put the contact of Climate Reality Indonesia Instagram account there, as well as the Climate Reality Project website. And I again would like to thank Coaching Indonesia, Climate Coaching Alliance, of course, Josie, and my mentor, my teacher, Mbak Dita. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ibu Amanda. So Ibu Amanda is, I see Ibu Amanda as my great climate coach, not relationship. And Mbak Cookie as well, also great climate coach. But yeah, I need more coach in the other area. But yeah, thank you so much, Ibu, for the acknowledgement. And then hope to see you again. And mohon maaf jika ada salah kata. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu.
Terima kasih semua.
Thank you.
Terima kasih. Sukses Mbak Lia PhD-nya.
Iya, terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam.
Ya, izin, terima kasih.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you.
Terima kasih. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Ibong, thank you for your support.
Thank you Ibu Amandaski.
Bajunya udah berapa puluh tahun tuh, Bong?
Iya nih. Mantap
10 tahun. Elshinta, thank you for
Harus
joining.
diperbaharui nih.
Thank you. Aku pamit.
Senangnya
Siap-siap. Pak Ibong. Yeah, you too. Everyone. Bu Josie and everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Leah.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Josie.
you so much.
I hope our paths cross again. Thank you.
Stop relaying YouTube ya.
Ya, oke.
Mana ini?
Oh, ini nanti kita bisa dapat apa namanya kopi dari chatnya kan ya, bagus-bagus nih masukannya sama